Hi everyone, Simon here with a review of Paperback. Paperback is a 1 to 4 player local multiplayer but online asynchronous multiplayer experience that's available for PC. It's a digital adaptation of an actual board game, so if you prefer the actual board game, I'll still explain how this all works. But yeah, I picked it up in the recent Steam Tabletop Fest that's going on with loads of discounts on board games or digital board games. So yeah, I want to dive in and show you all about it. My kind of tagline for this is if Scrabble had deck building elements. You need to be relatively decent at English, otherwise you might struggle to get to the end of the game, and I'll explain why. Paperback's goal is for you to accumulate fame, and you can see fame is on the top left hand corner of the screen in the little yellow thing with the stars next to it and the number. Whoever has the most amount of fame when the game ends wins. You earn fame by buying comics, which you can see on the top right hand side of the screen. So you can see they've got like 4, 7, 10 fame or something like that. You have to buy the comics, and you buy them by earning cash through building words. And you'll build words on the bottom end of the screen. So you'll be dealt a random selection of cards. As you can see, each card will have a letter on, unless it's a comic, and they act as blanks like in Scrabble, where you can type in any letter you want, but they don't earn you any kind of points for doing that. But it's really handy to build the word out, obviously, if you can find something, and you'll get used to using those. And then what you'll see for each card, on the bottom left hand side, you've got the price that they cost to buy, but on the top right hand side is the money that they'll earn you for when you create that word. So what you'll be looking to do is very similar to how scoring in Scrabble would work, for example, or like Boggle and all other word games. The more unique and challenging the card, the usually higher scoring amount of money that it will earn you. When you've then played that word, you lose those cards and they go into the discard pile, and then once all your cards have gone through, they'll kind of just flick back and go again. But what you're doing then is earning money to then go back up to that top side of the screen. And as you'll see, all of the cards on the top side, which is like the shop front for me, they're ordered in numerical like cost. So left hand side cheapest, right hand side more expensive. But look at the kind of extra money that they can then provide you. So there's a tactic here around Paperback of, do I go for low scoring but quite common letters and then try and build up words with, especially when you've got like the ins, the ands, the rs, the r's, the to, and things like that. It then allows you to start building out longer words with less cards so that you can really try and pick apart what would be the best word for you to score the most amount of money. Because when you start earning the amount of money that you can start buying comics with, that's when you start earning fame. And it's only really then that you're scoring. Everything else up to that point is around trying to build up decks of cards with letters or combinations of syllables, I guess, to earn the money to get to the comics. And it takes a while for that to kind of pop in, because you're looking at what would be a really great selection of letters for me that will let me build the best cards and words available. So you might see that a J is worth 5 points or $5 every time, or cents rather, every time that you put that card out. But if you've then got like an X and a P and an and an R, then you're like, I can't really make decent words out of that, so I'm a bit stook. So you're going to really need to kind of work holistically about how you can tailor your cards and your own deck to work for you. The game ends once 2 piles of comics are gone. Now, when you start up a game, you can kind of determine the length of the game because it lets you decide how many comics you want in each pile. So if you know that you're going to struggle to get like really, really expensive word combinations, then you can kind of keep that section of it down really low and make it like only one available for those, and make it like a big prized jewel. But you can kind of alter it around so that you can tailor your own experience depending on the English ability of who's playing, which I quite liked. It also brings in that much more tactical element because you're choosing the cards that you get out of a small selection, whereas with Scrabble and other things you're always playing blindly, and this adds in a real spelling strategy, I guess, which makes it really unique. In terms of the digital adaptation, there's 3 levels of AI for you to choose from. I do quite a lot of writing, but all of my writing, I suppose I should say, so part of my day job, I work providing government information in like communications, but we're taught basically that you have to write the stuff that I specifically deal with so that it can be read by a 9-year-old. And so it's one of the things that really frustrates me about the English language is that, and where I work, I'm not allowed to use big words, and they're starting to leave my brain. And I'm like, oh. So when it's coming up to like 8 and 9 letter words, I'm sitting there being like, because I'm not allowed to use it in my daily vocabulary. So I struggle a wee bit. But so for me, the AI do provide quite a decent challenge, and especially on the harder difficulties, because they'll come up with all kinds of weird and wonderful words. When you take this game online, that's the only kind of awkward downside that I have to this game, because it plays beautifully locally. Online, it's asynchronous. So you go in, make your move, and the game kind of then goes, thanks, bye, and then like pushes you back out again. So it feels really bitty and not the best adaptation of it possible. I don't see why you couldn't stay in the game, especially if you know that someone's playing on your Steam list or something like that. You should be able to kind of stay in and be like, oh, hi, chatting in your group chat or whatever, your go, next. It doesn't flow the way how they've programmed it to work. And that's my only downside for this game, because actually as a playable board game, there's plenty to get on with here, and I really enjoy it for such a simple premise, brilliant execution. Wish the multiplayer matchmaking would be a bit better though. So that's Paperback, out now, currently 40% off at the time of review, but it's proper cheap anyway, so I'd recommend it even at full price. You guys will take care. Written review will be over on highplayinggames.com. I'll catch you later. Bye! Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a collection of media projects ran by me. If you like what you see and want to find out more, visit patreon.com/Higher Plane Network. Your support can make so much more possible, be that a like, a comment, a share, or a pledge. Thanks for watching.